Hi guys, and welcome back to Unimig. Welding with aluminium can be a struggle, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong as it's a softer metal than steel. Aluminium can be such a pain to work with when trying to MIG weld. However, several types of aluminium specific torches have been made to make the process easier. Which one is going to work best for you? Today we're looking at both a spool gun and the push-pull gun. A spool gun is a pistol grip style gun with a compartment for a wire spool roll to be attached directly onto the gun. It also comes with its own drive rollers inside the gun, so the wire can feed from the spool through the gun and out into the weld. The wire only needs to travel the length of the gun instead of through a 4-meter torch lead, which means there are far less places for things to go wrong. A push-pull gun is a pistol grip style gun with a small second motorized wire feed directly in the gun. Perhaps the main difference between a spool gun and a push-pull gun is that the push-pull gun doesn't have the spool holder on top. The motor works in harmony with the feeder inside the machine, and together they achieve a smooth feed as the machine pushes the wire through the torch lead and the gun pulls it through from the other end. A push-pull gun is more like a standard MIG torch than a spool gun, as the wire spool is still loaded up inside the machine and fed through the machine's rollers and into the torch lead. Spool guns and push-pull guns are both operated in the same way as a regular MIG torch. Hold down the button and off you go. They're also both designed to weld aluminium, although you can swap your drive rollers and use steel in them if you really want to. Spool guns and push-pull guns have longer torch leads than standard torches. The Unimig spool gun comes with a 6-meter torch lead, and the push-pull gun comes with an 8-meter lead. Even though they were made to do the same thing, there are a couple of differences to consider when you're picking between the two. Spool guns totally eliminate big issues like bird nesting and wire kinking. You're going to save yourself a lot of time and material, and if you're not always having to fix your wire because it's kinked in the torch or just not feeding at all. Generally, a spool gun is the best choice for aluminium if you're using it for smaller applications or you only weld aluminium occasionally. They don't come with the ability to do as many max amps as a push-pull gun can, so their duty cycles are lower, meaning you can't weld as long as a push-pull gun in one go. They also only have the capability of housing 1 kilogram spools and could be just that bit heavier than a push-pull gun, leading to fatigue in your hands from the added weight of the spool. That's why they're recommended for the shorter welds. Also, the spool does stick out from the back of a gun, so it can get in the way a bit when welding in small spaces. Whereas the push-pull gun clearly doesn't have this problem. We've made a complete setup guide video for a spool gun that you can check out here. Depending on what type of gas you are using, push-pull guns can withstand higher amps than spool guns, so they can weld for longer periods of time on thicker metals. A push-pull gun, though bulky, is usually a bit lighter and smaller than a spool gun, but still heavier than your standard MIG torch. It'll fit into small or tight spaces better than a spool gun, as there's no spool housing on the top to get in the way. In general, if you're planning on doing lots of aluminium welding or welding it for long periods of time in one go, a push-pull gun is for you. However, if you need to swap between materials often, then a push-pull gun can be a pain because you're going to lose all the wire still inside the gun every time you switch before finishing a spool. The main advantage for using a push-pull gun is they provide the smoothest wire speed, especially when MIG welding aluminium. The pull motor in the torch allows the wire to be fed over a much longer distance, giving you more flexibility to move and maneuver while MIG welding. Finally, push-pull guns are also usually much more expensive than spool guns. Well, that's our look at a spool gun versus a push-pull gun. You can check out all the specs in full on our website. Have you used either gun before? What do you prefer to use? Let us know down in the comments. That's all for today, so be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and don't forget to follow Unimig on our socials. Until next time, bye for now.